If we share it as well.
It's time for the Everyman, where real man talk.
Let's go. Time to grind, get inside your mind. Yeah, we working overtime. That's the only way to climb. We gon' make it in our prime. Signing on the dotted line, cashing checks left and right. That's the way I'm living life.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Everyman Podcast. Now, tonight we have a very special guest. We have Sophie Ellen, who, she's going to hate me for saying this, just like Imogen did last week, who is a rising TikTok star and influencer around the world of dating. How are you doing tonight, Sophie?
I'm amazing. How are you?
Yeah, we're really good, thank you. We've just had a little bit of crack there as well, so I feel like it's going to be a really good episode. You seem super chill and funny, so that's a win.
Always.
Dean?
I'm not bad, mate. Looking forward to getting into it. I feel like you need a bit of a dating advice, so I think that's why you loaded this one up for yourself, haven't you? So
is that the reason? Yeah, you know, we had that little bit of crack before, and what was quite funny was we're like, well, I'm single, so I'm going to learn loads. And Dean's married, and he's like, his response was, "I've completed it, mate," which is very true. But yeah, I think so. This is a topic that we have had like so many requests for from listeners. So we talk about lots of mental health or health issues, and ultimately, we all want to be the best version of ourselves, so we can attract hopefully the best person for us. And I think not looking after your own health, your mental health, physical health, all those sorts of things limits your ability to do that. So yeah, super interested to hear all your views and everything that you've experienced and your thoughts. But we thought we would start the episode off by shamelessly embarrassing you with a clip from your TikTok.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's one of the things we have to do, right?
Okay.
I don't know what you're like with watching yourself back on camera, but I absolutely hate it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So Dean is going to share a clip. We are not producers.
Oh, Beth looked nice on it.
Yeah.
How the fuck
share it.
are we meant to meet people in this day and age? People say, "Oh, I want to meet someone in a bar." Can't fucking hear ya because the music's that loud that literally it's a struggle. And then the majority of the time you have eye contact with someone all night, but neither of you have got the balls to say anything to each other. So really just wasted eye contact, isn't it? And then don't even get me started on dating apps. People use dating apps literally to seek validation to make themselves feel better. Or they sit, try and match with people, don't match with anyone that they want, and then they actually end up feeling shitter about themselves than what they did before they made the download. I think even sometimes when we do fancy someone on a dating app or we do fancy someone on social media, we can't even be arsed engaging in conversation because of the chance of another failed talking stage. This generation is fucked. So many people say it. I want to meet someone the old-fashioned way, but we're all too scared to do so. How the fuck are we meant to meet people in this
Dean,
age?
you can end it now.
People say,
no, I'm actually. Oh, has it got back to the start?
Yeah. Yeah, come back to the start. But do you know what? The thing is, some of the things you say there are just so true in the sense of in today's world, like it's so hard to date. Like it actually is so hard. So firstly, we obviously have to start. There has to be a reason why you started a TikTok channel about dating.
Yeah.
You have to tell us why.
Okay. So basically, it's been something that I've sort of toyed with for a long time now. And obviously, again, it's all about like, I was too worried about what everyone thought of me and everyone's opinions. And I was just so scared for what I don't know. I really don't know. But I am the eldest in my friendship group. So I am sort of like the big sister of the girls that I hang around with. I was the first one to get a long-term relationship, the first one to go through a breakup, the first one to date. So all my life experiences, I sort of like gained all my knowledge first through living the life. And then, you know, watching the girls go through similar experiences and being like, don't let them talk to you like that. Or don't say that. Like, don't do this, don't do that. And, you know, it's mad because when you're in the situation, no matter what anyone says, it's up to you and you'll do whatever you want to do. And no matter how much I told the girls, like, I get it. You're not going to know until you decide yourself. You'll wake up that one day and you'll know that it's not right for you. But I'm telling you now, it's not right for you. And it was like, the girls were always like, you're just the best with advice. And I was like, mate, I wish I wasn't, because I wish I hadn't gone through half the stuff that I've been through. But, you know, we're here for a reason. And it basically come to a head in, I think it was August. So I've been in like what we, us Gen Zs call a situationship with someone that I genuinely did care about. And it didn't work out. And I'd gone to the gym this night, and don't ask me why I'd done it, but I just got my phone, I'd finished the gym, I was in the car, and I just filmed this 2-minute long video, and I put it on my Snapchat story for like close friends. And everyone was like, you need to put that on TikTok. And I was like, what? And they were like, put that on TikTok. And I was like, don't be stupid. No one's asked what I'm saying. I'm just being a cobby bitch because I didn't get what I wanted. I wanted the boy, didn't want me back. Get over it, do you know what I mean? Shut up, Sophie, like, get a grip. But I was so angry. I was like, how dare you come into my life and love bomb me and tell me everything I want to hear and then just do a runner like 4 or 5 weeks in? Like, it's not okay. I'm nearly 27. Like, grow up, do you know what I mean? And I posted it. I posted it just before I went to bed, and I did not think, I promise you this now, I did not think a thing about it. Posted it, went to bed, woke up the next morning, and it had like 370,000 views.
Wow.
And I was like, shit. He's going to see it. Everyone's going to see it. Everyone's going to go, is she messing? Who does she think she is? I was like, oh, no way. And the only people I had on TikTok at the time, from when I was traveling, were like close family and friends. When I used to put like traveling videos up, which I've since took down because I'm half naked in most of them. But I literally like just thought it'll be nothing. And my mates were like, do another one. So the next day, done another one. Same thing happened again. And I was like, there's no way people want to listen to this. No way. And then honestly, I think I'd say after a week, I'd gained like 8,000 followers, and everyone was like, thank you for being so relatable. Like, I feel the exact same way that you're feeling. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to keep doing it. And I've gone with it. And you know how, like, I don't care what anyone thinks about me anymore. And I know it took me nearly 27 years to be like that. But the hundreds, and I mean hundreds of amazing messages that I get every single day from people thanking me for making them feel less alone, for understanding them, for being so relatable, that means more to me than that one person that goes, you're a tit. Who do you think you are? And it does, and that's the way I think about it. Long way around it.
No, it's very admirable, and it's one of those where we've all felt like that, either after a relationship breakup, a situationship, as you quite nicely put it, where you're just like, why did that happen? How did that happen? Yeah. There's 2 sides to every story, or there's 3. There's my version, your version, and the truth. But actually, everyone wants to get their version across, because without that, we kind of feel like I've missed out on something, or I've lost out on something, because they've taken a version of my truth away, and they're going to tell their truth to other people. So absolutely get that. But I suppose my question around that would be, why do you think it has exploded? Like, why do you think people are so interested in what you've got to say?
I think it's because it is so relatable. Being single now and dating now, the game is just so different to what it was a couple of years ago. Like, dating apps, I don't think are as authentic as what they used to be when they first come out. I don't. The caliber of people on there, the attitudes, they're completely different. And, you know, we all go on dating apps for different reasons, and I get that wholeheartedly. You know, sometimes people are like, you know, want a one-night thing. That's fine if that's what you want, as long as you communicate that effectively. That is okay. But I do feel sorry for the people who go on there wanting to meet, you know, their lifelong partner. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, because it does. Dating apps can be brilliant in that sense. But I'd say 9 times out of 10, I've been single now, on and off dating for nearly 5 years. There's a reason why I'm still single. Do you know what I mean? And I've got to the point now where, you know, talking about it on TikTok helps me as well as it helps everyone else. And I think just having a dating app now, I'm not interested anymore. I'm done with it. Done with it. Yeah. And I think everyone feels the same. And that's the sad thing about it, really.
Do you know when you say, so you've been single, 5 years? Did you say on and off?
Yeah, so I've like dated, I've had situationships. I've never, for me, and obviously we'll probably go into the reason why I am the way I am. Being a girlfriend to me is so important. And I feel like you are only worthy of that title when you prove to me that you're worthy of that title.
Mm.
And, you know, situationships, don't get me wrong, they anger me because they go on for so long and you're doing everything that you would do in a relationship. You just haven't got the title, you've met the family, you know, you're dating each other, you're not seeing anyone else. And it basically is a relationship just without the title. But, like, it's just being a girlfriend for me is that next step. And the next time I want to be a girlfriend will be my person. It'll be my Lommel.
I have to be honest, right? So I don't know how old you are. You mid-20s, if I had to guess?
Nearly 27.
Nearly 27. So you're mid-20s, right? I'll be polite. You're mid-20s, right? So I'm
Yeah.
31. Situationships weren't a thing for
No.
me anyway. And especially not the level of meeting family. I think once you start introducing family, that's a completely different wavelength
100%.
of that. You're not just having casual sex, then, are you? It's like
Mm-mm.
we're actually a thing. So
Yeah.
I don't. If that's a thing of today, then wow, I'm way older than I thought I was. But I'll
There's
take it.
limits to
I'm
it,
learning
though.
here, Dean.
Yeah, there's limits to it because don't get me wrong, every relationship starts off, you know, you build a foundation, don't you? You meet each other, you get to learn to know each other, like you likes, you dislikes, whatever. But I feel like it gets to a point where it goes on for too long. And I've even said it to like some of my best friends now who are in relationships. I've said it to their lads and been like, why haven't you asked to be a girlfriend? What's your problem? Well, I don't know. And it's like, well, what will change for you right now? If you ask one of my mates to be your girlfriend, what changes? Absolutely nothing. And I don't know if it's genuinely the fear that we've got in us as this generation of being in a relationship and the title of it. I don't know if it's that. I don't know what it is. But for me, if you are wholeheartedly in it with someone, you're doing everything you would do in a relationship and you've been doing it for a long period of time, why are you so scared to make that jump to go from situationship to relationship? I'll never understand it. Never understand it.
Another thing. So the question around your 5 years potential single,
Yeah.
are you now concerned that the videos you put out could impact someone wanting to get closer to you? So the fear is that I'd love to think you wouldn't ever name them on a video, but then are they then fearful of they could be named or described in a video? Is that a concern for yours?
Do you know what? I feel like at first it was a little bit because obviously all my videos are coming from me talking from experience. So let's be honest. Me ex has seen the videos. My long-term relationship, he's seen the videos.
Yeah.
We've seen each other out on a night out. He's gone, I know you do TikTok. It's fine. I made up for you. Dead proud. Yeah, like what happened. It was years ago.
Yeah.
And you know, situationships that I've had since, they'll know some of the videos are about them. When I meet someone new, my foundation, like ground rule is, you know that I do TikTok off the bat. And I don't just do TikTok for me, I do TikTok for a lot of other people. And all you need to do is read the comments, watch the lives, and you'll understand the effect that being honest and speaking out and saying what other people are scared to say helps so many people. If you don't like the fact that I do that, that's not a me problem, that's a you problem. And I feel like my person, whoever it is, please find me ASAP, you know, should appreciate that and think, you know what, I admire what you're doing for the people. I admire that you're being strong enough to talk about your experiences. And I hope to listen as well, because if you listen to me videos, you'll know what not to do and what to do. Watch them. Do you know what I mean?
Watch them and learn.
Watch them and learn, yeah.
That's it, yeah. No, I think there was definitely a lot of good points in that. And it's quite interesting actually having these levels of conversations, because we've never talked about anything like this.
No.
And we've never talked about dating. We've talked about like real as in what society describes as real like health problems. But I feel that dating is such a societal problem.
Oh, it is.
People really don't feel confident. So one of your videos, and I think it was the one we played, mentions just going up to someone and talking to them at a bar. I feel that's the way that I would approach someone versus going on a dating app. Like, I did dating apps for 2 days, and I think it was really one day. And honestly, it was the worst thing ever. You have like one extreme to the other. You have the extreme of just want to have sex, and you have the extreme of, are we going to get married and have 7 kids? And you're like, oh, and either way. But at the start, and I think the hardest thing at the start of dating actually or getting to know anyone is you have the same conversations over and over,
Oh.
especially on dating apps. It's like, hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you? What do you do for work? What do you do for fun? And you're like, oh my God, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like dating apps are a lazy way of meeting people, but
Yeah.
not actually putting much effort in. And you could probably just
Yeah.
copy and paste your messages.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, you know, it is okay to be both. It is okay if you just want to sleep around. That is fine. If you want to get married and have kids, that is also fine. But you know what I find? The majority of people on there are ones in relationships, or like, honestly, the stories I've got along with me arm, like, you wouldn't even believe it. But like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just not, it's lost all sense of like authenticity. Like, but then I know a lot of the time when I'm on live, lads say to me, or even women say to me, well, I wouldn't want to go up to someone in a bar because I look like a creep. And then again, it's like, well, you don't know if they're single or not. In a bar, just standing next to you, you might approach someone and they might go, I've got a boyfriend, I've got a girlfriend. And it's like, come on, you can say it in a nicer way. You can be like,
Surely
oh,
people
you know,
don't do
I'm
that.
flattered. Oh, they do. For me, I've seen it so many times. A lad's gone up to a girl and the girl's gone, don't talk to me, I've got a boyfriend.
Yeah,
I
girls
will
are probably
never
more
be that
inclined to do
person.
that.
I
Yeah,
will
girls
never be that
probably.
person. Not to say that I'd flirt with the lad all night, let him buy me 10 bevies and then go, got a fella, go away. I'm very much I think it's a massive compliment that someone's had the courage to build themselves up to walk over to someone and go, hi, you okay? And start a conversation. I think it's lovely. Don't get me wrong, it then gets slid in the conversation if I'm seeing someone, if I'm not, as a matter of respect for myself and the person that I'm seeing. But I think, how admirable is that? How admirable is that you've built up the courage in yourself to just walk over and go to someone, hi, you okay? What's wrong with people?
Agree. Yep, fully
I see
agree.
the wrong in too many things, I think, nowadays, and things are taken the wrong way, and it shouldn't be like that, and that makes me sad. But society that we live in, unfortunately.
Do you think it's more of a struggle these days because a lot of interaction is online? So, like, you know, a lot of people are texting. I'll give myself, for example, I don't even like to answer the phone. Like, I work in a call center, but someone rings, I'm like, oh, God, I don't want to answer that.
Yeah.
And then a couple of minutes later, I'll text. So, you know, a lot of it is online, and, you know, the face-to-face human contact is getting more and more less. So whether or not that's a big factor in people not wanting to step out their comfort zone and maybe even saying hello.
100%. I think, you know, social media, our phones, everything like that it's pinnacle. It's got so much to do with the way we all think and the way we all act nowadays. You'll see it yourself if you go, obviously you're married, aren't you? If you go for a food with your partner and then you'll see a young couple sat and they're not even talking to each other. They're just sat, scroll. They don't even say 2 words to each other.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because we're losing ourselves in this not real world. It's so weird. And we're losing the beauty of human interaction, and it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And it makes me so sad. I'm so glad that I had part of my life where I didn't have a phone. And I'm so grateful for that time that I had, because having a phone is as amazing as it is, and I wouldn't change it, because obviously I do social media now. It's amazing for that. But it took away so much from
100%.
like me as a person, from me in a relationship, from like me experiencing like little things differently. Like now that I'm constantly attached to my phone, it's sad.
No, I think it is really sad, and hopefully society moves away from it and starts to have real, authentic relationships and meaningful conversations with people. So this takes me to sort of the first section. Is where we get to know you a little bit more, right?
Oh, okay.
I feel we've started on a good place, because you've gone straight in there, which is great. So you have the option: 2 serious questions, 1 a little bit not so serious, or vice versa. 1 serious, 2 not so.
Oh, any. I'm up for anything.
Okay. Well, considering what we've just discussed, I actually think a good one would be: how do you think people should meet in today's age? If so, you're a single guy out there. No, you can answer the girls one, actually. You answer the girls one, because it's more, you're a girl, you would know it better than being a boy, right?
Okay.
If you're a single girl in today's age and you actually want to meet someone, what is the best way, do you think, to meet someone in the right way? And I know you're also on that journey thinking, if I knew the answer.
Do you know what? I'd love to say the natural way of in a bar or in a shop or walking the dog. But we're that scared as people now. It's never going to happen. It isn't. I think, even Instagram, like we have the joke about like, oh, you're liking someone's stories all the time. That means you're giving the hint that you fancy each other. No, message me. Stop wasting my time. Stop liking me. Stop message me. Make the first move. Don't get me wrong, I would make the first move if I really was like, wow. But I don't know. I think, I want it to be like the old-fashioned way. I do. I want it to be in person. I want them to have the confidence to come up to me and start a conversation. That's what I want. Whether it be in a Starbucks when I'm having a coffee reading a book, whether it be in a bar over a drink, whether it be in the queue getting your shopping in Aldi. I want it to be that like face to face,
spontaneously.
Yeah, I don't want to look for it. Fall into me while I'm picking up dog shit. Bump into me. Like, I want it to happen so spontaneously that like there's no pressure. I'm not building myself up for this big,
I've
fairy
experienced
tale
that this year,
moment.
100%.
Yeah.
No,
I think that's it though, isn't it? For me, it's the best way I've found to meet people is by not looking to try and meet anyone at all. It's so hard when you're when you're looking for something to find it. Whereas, like when I met my wife, she's Japanese. I met her in Australia, doing farm work of all things. So I went to a farm fully expecting that I'm going to a farm to work with a load of blokes. Had no idea that I was going to meet any females at all, because it was just the first couple of days was just all males, and then eventually met my lass. But like I say, she's Japanese. She didn't really fully understand me being a Geordie. What I said, I used to wink at her all the time, and then she didn't know what it meant. She just thought there was something wrong with me. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Yeah. The best way to do it is just, I think, like not even be looking for it, which sounds hard, but like you just need to, I think you give off a stink, don't you? When a smell of desperation when you're trying to force it. So I think that's what's worked for me.
Even that, when you're saying like when you're looking for it, and I feel like that's also a factor that massively doesn't help us right now in this generation. I know the minute I reached, I'd say 25, everything changed for me, because you start seeing all of your friends getting engaged, buying houses, like getting married, having babies, and you start sitting and you're going, what's wrong with me? Why haven't I got what they've got? Why haven't I settled down? Why haven't I, done all these things that everyone else seems to be doing? But that's fine. And that's what a lot of us don't realise. We sit and compare ourselves so much to everyone else, what everyone else is doing, when really we're all on our own path. It'll all go at its own pace. And as shitty as it feels sometimes, because I know sometimes I'll get really upset about it, I just think, you know what? My time's going to come. And when that'll be is in someone else's hands, because it's not in mine. So, we'll just wait and see what happens.
I think that's a great answer as well. We'll stick with another serious one. What did you learn most? So we haven't really touched on you traveling the world, but I know that not because I'm a stalker, but because I had to do some research at other podcasts. But I'd followed you, and you know that from us first talking anyway. So what did you learn the most from you traveling the world? And Dean, you can sub-answer that after, because I think that's a good question.
I completely changed the person. And I know it sounds so cliche, and everyone on TikTok goes, oh my God, when you go for a breakup, you go and find yourself in Southeast Asia and blah, blah, blah. Oh my, I can't tell you enough, right? That statement couldn't be truer. I literally fell in love with the little things. And I'm so beyond grateful for everything I've got at home, so much more now. Even the likes of going for a coffee, and the girl who's behind making the coffee, behind the machine, and I'm like, thank you so much. And when people are like, well, she's been a bit dramatic, it's only a coffee, but I think that poor girl's been in work all day, probably hates her job, she's sweating, she wants to go home to her kids and a dog. Do you know what I mean? Traveling and not working for 5 months, I was so blessed to be in that position. I'm so grateful that I was able to do that. And you walk around, you see people with no shoes on, you walk around, people have got no families, people are on their own. And I was like, I am the luckiest girl in the world, and I am so miserable when I'm at home thinking that I've got it the world's worst. I am so lucky that I've got a house with my family who are healthy, friends who are amazing, support network. Everything I've got now I'm so much more grateful for. And I think that's what I learned the most, was to just be grateful for everything that I have got and not be too down on myself for the things that I haven't got, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does completely. So what were the moments that made you think that? Was it seeing other people who maybe didn't have those things, or was it being in a different country and you even taking for granted being able to go and speak to your mum?
Everything like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything like that. And again, you know, I'm moaning about phones and stuff, but I probably wouldn't have dealt with travelling as well as I did without having my phone and having that interaction with my family and friends. Like, my mum FaceTime me every day. She's going to, isn't she? She's going to be worried sick that I'm over there on my own, well, with a mate, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a Wales, I'm a daughter. I was on the other side of the universe for all she cared. She was like, oh, I want to see you. So that in itself, yeah. And then the people that you meet people from every walk of life, whether they have money, whether they don't, whether they're old, whether they're young. You meet people, you know, with disabilities, and you think, like, we were in Vietnam, and the girl who owned the hotel we were staying in, she had one arm, but she wanted to do everything for us. She wanted to carry our bags, she wanted to do our washing, and I was just like, my heart was just so full because these people just wanted to do everything for me. I was just like, I'm so lucky to have what I've got.
I definitely feel like that is life-changing, what you've gone through there.
100%, and I can't wait to do it again, which, fingers crossed, in July I will be going again.
Amazing. Yes, amazing. Well, we're looking forward to hearing all about that as well, I'm sure. Dean, what did you learn? Because you've done it.
Well, I should probably give me, like, because just something you were saying there about, you know, how hard they're working over there. Probably something I hadn't really given much thought to, but once I got over to Australia and started working, I had a much stronger like ethic of like work ethic and stuff, because realizing like how lucky we are and how hard, like, really, you know, I work in a call center, sit on my arse 8 hours a day, you know, taking calls, get up, make a coffee and all that. Like, it seems like the worst thing in the world when you're doing it, doesn't it? But when you go and visit these places, you sort of realize how lucky we are. Just even like the money difference and sort of, you know, how much we get paid compared to what they earn. You know, we earn more in an hour than what they probably, in a lot of part of the world, that they earn in like a week, you know. But yeah, it gave me a bit more confidence as well. Going away, just I've never really struggled too much with like meeting new people and stuff like that. But like it's not harder, but it's, what's the word? Takes a little bit more confidence to sort of meet people that you haven't spoke to, you know. And just going back to what we're saying, like, it's what you lose over here being in England, don't you? You know, like, we used to always sit on the trains and on the bus and have conversations and that, and now we're all just heads buried in with phones and stuff like that, you know. But it opens your world, and I'm sure you'll agree. Anyone that has the opportunity to go traveling, just 100% do it. Even if it's only, you know, a short 3-4 weeks, like, it's really worth it, and it'll sort of, you know, give you motivation to get out there and do it.
And I was lucky as well because, like, I didn't go to Australia and do a working visa. I haven't done Australia yet. That's going to be this year. But when I went to Asia, I found that because I didn't have a job and I was just traveling, I was so more in tune with my thoughts and I had more time to be in my own head. And it wasn't such a negative thing. It was like I was learning so much about myself, my feelings. Like, I'd sit and read books. When do I ever read a book when I'm at home? I don't have the time. But I was reading a book. I was like, why haven't I read a book since I was in school? Because you jump into this imaginary world of imagination. Like, I'm that busy on my phone all the time. I'm losing out so much. And traveling just showed me that, like, there's so much more to life than just sitting and looking at my phone 24/7.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the podcast. Like, for me, I'm a gamer on my phone. And I was feeling for months like I have no time. I finish work, I get in from work, and I don't have time to read a book. I don't have time to make me dinner. Like, I'll get a takeaway or what have you. And then it sort of dawned on me during the conversation that I'll quit my game for a couple of weeks just to see how I get on. And once I did that, I just realized, like, I've got so much more time now, like, time that I didn't realize that I had. Like now, the quality of my relationship, that the time I spend with my wife compared to before, like, now I've like got too much time, like, you know, because it would just go like that. So, you know, it's social media and stuff. It's a wonderful thing, you know, especially getting your information out there. But for me, it's so easy to get lost in time. And, you know, 1 minute you're on TikTok, the next minute it's 3 hours later, and you're like, what? How did that happen? So, you know, it's a you know, it's a curse, but it's also a good thing as well. You know, pros and cons.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, completely agree with that. We do have another question. So this is your more. You can take this question however you want to take it. So
No.
it can be funny, it can be serious, whatever. But
Okay.
so, what is the best or worst chat up line that you've either used? I think you may have been that cheesy once, or been told.
It's got to be that Wi-Fi password one, hasn't it?
What is it? I don't. Just taking notes casually
Like,
here.
don't ever use this. That's me advice. Don't ever use it.
Use it, Lou.
It's when a guy has sent me like a jumbled up load of letters, and I've gone, what's that? And they've gone, my Wi-Fi password for when you come to mine.
Oh,
And you just go,
Oh, that's bad.
yeah, you're an ick. You're an actual ick.
Horrible.
Bye. Go away. Go away.
Honestly, that is. So it was jumbled up letters. Did you say?
Letters and numbers, capitals, lowercase, a lot. They've gone fully out. Fully believable. And I went, what's that? My Wi-Fi password for when you come to mine. I'm not coming to yours. Shut up.
And that's like the first message they've ever sent.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
yeah, that's terrible.
There's so many icky ones though. Like, don't start it off with a joke. That's what I'm telling you. Don't start it off with a joke because it's not funny. You just go.
Yeah. So what do you start it off with? Because this is probably leading to some of the questions that we have around, like, what is a great way to Conor McNamara, great idea. I will try that. I feel like lots of lads are going to be taking notes of that one and using it really ironically, like, oh, I just watched a podcast about dating and I'm so in tune with my thoughts, but I thought I'd send you this because it's funny. So yeah, don't use it.
I'm all trying it.
That's it.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. What do you think is a great intro message to send? What type of message? So if it's not a joke, do you just try and be serious or what?
There's a reason why I favour Hinge over. I don't know whether I can name dating apps, but I am doing it.
Do whatever you want to do. Yeah.
I favour Hinge over Tinder. Reason being, I hate Tinder for loads of reasons, but Hinge, they help you a little bit. They help you start conversations with the questions and the answers and the polls and the things like that. So if I've got on my profile that I've been to Southeast Asia, you know, I left home for 3.5 months, I have a dog, use the information that people spend time answering those questions to start conversation. Why did you go travelling? Where did you go travelling? What did you learn about travelling? Ask me questions about what I've spent time putting on my profile. And you know, engage in conversation that you know I'll be interested in, because that clearly is my interest. Traveling the world, meeting new people. You know, what did you learn the most? What was your favourite part of Asia? Like, hook me in with something that you know I'm gonna want to talk about. And I could talk about travel until I was blue in the face.
Ask your questions and let you talk and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the easiest. That's the way you get. People love talking about themselves, don't they? So
yeah,
I think.
Oh, I love it. Do it all day.
Some might say that you do.
I do.
Yeah, so that's a dating app one, and that's a very specific one in Hinge.
Yeah.
But, so if we could either use a bar or, you know, someone's on social media, and you might follow each other, and you might not have the luxury of all of their. You don't know that they've travelled, other than maybe some of their pictures, but that might look like a holiday. Like, do you go in with just like, hi, how you doing? But that seems really boring. What's the
Hi,
way
how
to
was
do
your
it?
holiday 2 years ago?
Yeah, how was your holiday 2 years ago? That I just liked.
Yeah.
Scrolled back like this.
I feel like if you've genuinely got an interest for someone and you've got your eye on them a little bit, not in like a weird way, but like I know some people don't really put things on social media because they're not comfortable with it. I, however, do about 100 Instagram stories a day. Everyone hates me. But you'll learn about my likes and my dislikes and my interests through what I choose to put on my social media. You know, my music taste, my, you know, favourite coffee in Starbucks. Like, you'll learn about people because people put what they choose to put on social media. Like, if you see someone constantly, like, putting up a picture of Sefton Park Lake, you know, they like going on a walk, you know, they like nature, they like, you know, listen to music in their AirPods. spark conversation with the information that they allow you to see. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So don't
That makes sense.
presume. Like, take a little bit of interest in someone. If you're genuinely keen on someone, just have a little look. And if you don't post on social media, then I don't really know what you're going to do.
Follow them round until they
Follow
get an
them around.
idea of what you
Taking
like.
notes.
Yeah.
Just outside the work? No, don't do that.
Yeah, you
I
find
dunno,
out where
just-
they live. You find out where they live first, and then you just follow them. That's the rules,
That
isn't it?
seems a bit Joe from you vibes. I feel like that's a no-go. Can't be
Okay,
doing
okay.
that.
That is a no-go. Sorry, guys.
Did you say Lou
I
from
was hearing
Whitley?
it the
Or...
other way.
This is why he's
Yeah.
single.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
am on the same.
Sits outside girls' work.
She pointed to you then as well.
I know. Matty H Music said, "Can you not just throw out what food do you like and when are you free next?"
See, he does this all the time to me. He does. He actually said to me, "I'm gonna alter me, right?" So when was it? Yesterday or the day before?
Matty,
he said
we are
to
so
me-
sorry, mate. We are so
Oh
sorry.
no, he's getting it. He said to me, "When are you free next?" And I just put why. Because me and Matty have been friends for years. I was like, "Why?" And he went, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. That was meant for me cousin Sophie." And I thought, "You liar! You liar!"
MSN vibes, isn't it? 2002.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"Matty, I got excited. I didn't think you were gonna take me to Nando's." And he was like, "Nando's? Who do you think I am?" At the KFC. And I was just like, "This has sparked the wrong type of conversation." But yeah.
So,
I'm out to
hang on.
Matthew. Try it again. Try it again.
Have we just found out that you and Matthew could imagine if one day, 5, 10 years, 15 years in the future, you and Matty come back on the pod, you're married, you've got kids, it all started at Nando's, like
On the Everyman
Matty-
Podcast.
Yeah, on the Everyman Podcast. Matty, I feel like you're gonna have to take her to Nando's. I feel you've already got the free pass for Nando's. You're gonna have to, mate.
The Nando's,
KFC's super expensive and all.
It's
Yeah,
not.
KFC's the same price.
KFC's rip off now.
It
I'd
is.
rather go Nando's.
Yeah,
Same.
me too. Yeah, me too.
Definitely.
100%.
Your
Nando's all the way.
Nando's choices peak. That's something I ask when I'm dating someone as well. It's like, what do you have when you go to Nando's? And they're like, what a stupid question. And I'm like, but I need to know. I need
All
to
right,
know that you're a lemon and herb person. I need the spice. I need the
Oh.
heat.
Yeah, so we can do this because I think this is a good exercise to do because Dean orders the most weird thing ever. So me and Dean, we bro date a lot. Here we
that,
go.
love
Hang
that.
on, we have to bring this back because Matty has replied. Might have had a drink and got scared when I woke up. Stop. Matty, you may be our favourite ever person to comment, and I hope you're there laughing in your room, mate. We're very proud of you for growing some balls and commenting on a podcast, shooting your shot. Well done, mate. Proud.
Yes, Matthew.
So let's go round. Sophie, what is your Nando's order?
Right.
Matthew,
There's
take
two.
notes.
Depends what mood I'm in, right? It's always hot because if you're not having hot, you are, yeah. It's either 4 boneless chicken thighs with peri chips and garlic bread and peronaise obviously on the side because you've got to.
Obviously.
Or I don't mind the sunset burger, I tried that recently with peri salted chips and not garlic bread because there's already a lot of carbs going on with the burger. I'd say like maybe the tender December broccoli or like the coleslaw, something with a bit of
something.
Yeah, bit of
Yeah.
funk. Yeah.
I think mine's fairly similar to yours in the sense I have to go hot.
Is he
I'm
lying?
gonna-
Is he lying?
No,
He's only
I
saying
have
that
to go
now,
hot.
to you.
I know, yeah.
Lemon
yeah,
and
yeah.
herb all the
Shut
time. Nah, he has hot. That's why he lost his hair.
I love hot food. He's such a dick. I love hot food. So I either get hot or extra hot. You go
Oh,
wrap. You go wrap. Peri chips, spicy rice, peronaise, halloumi cheese. But you get like
Okay.
a side of halloumi. Sometimes you might go mixed olives to start. You might go hummus and pitta. You might do that.
nobody
yeah,
gets the
that's-
starters from KFC, from Nando's. Like,
I do. You just because then you get more food, but you ask them to bring it with your meal, so you can eat it all at once.
I mean, I was riding with the train until you said olives, and then I just thought you've lost it now. You've lost it.
well, wait till you hear mine.
Yeah,
Oh.
his is.
Mine's
dodgy.
mine's not that bad. But I get
Weird.
a half chicken, hot, and then I just get a wrap on its own so that I can make my own wrap because then you get like more chicken because you just get one chicken breast in a wrap, whereas I just use the chicken from the whole half chicken, and then peronaise and peri salted chips. No drink. Or you ask for a water and then get a Coke.
What? No, right. It's been a pleasure, guys. I'm getting off. Imagine getting no.
It's a terrible Nando's, isn't it? That's as
You're
bad of
lucky
a
you're
Nando's.
married. That's all I'm saying. You don't need to worry about your Nando's order because you're boxed off for life. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a bad. Honestly, the first time we went, I was like, "What are you getting?" And he was like, "Oh, I get half a chicken and some wraps."
It's the
Who's
best value for money.
I'm actually really like. It's made me feel really emotional. How
In
am I single?
disappointment.
And
Is
you're
it the chicken?
ordering at the table.
Is it the chicken on the bone?
It's just that so much going on, like the dry, no drink, no salt, and then you've
No, there's
finger me
peronaise.
chicken.
I think I'd be chicken like.
Get your dusty fingers out my eyeball while I'm trying to eat my thighs. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see you. No.
I pull it all apart first, don't I?
If that was a first date,
Every piece of chicken. Oh, I probably wouldn't do that on a first date. Like, nah,
I'd be like
definitely
that.
not.
Leave.
But
Yeah.
now that I go with my wife, we just get a full chicken and we do the same.
So that's cute, though.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit cute.
it's a bit cute. Hang on, you redeemed it straight away like that because she's a sucker for love. You can tell.
I am.
You could tell that straight away. No, it was funny. Okay, next question. So we're gonna take this a little bit more serious here, and I wasn't sure ahead of this whether you were single or not. So this question may not be that apt, but so I have a theory. You can't be really great at dating or brilliant in a relationship until you really know who you are and what you want.
Yeah.
So what I think a lot of the problem with today is, so I'll expand my theory slightly, is that so many people are jumping on these dating apps with no real intent or intention of what they actually want out of it. So they're going on dating apps going, yeah, I might sleep with someone, I might meet someone, I might not. And I think that's quite a healthy place to be. Don't go in there putting yourself under loads of pressure. But actually, you should know that if you meet someone who you really vibe with, you should be comfortable just going, well, I'm happy just to only speak to that person. I'm not going to speak to 20 people.
Yeah.
And I think that only truly comes from knowing what you want out of something, out of the conversation with someone. And once you find someone who matches your values, to then go, okay, that's what I'm after. Because while you don't know who you are, you'll never know what you want.
Yeah, and you can't let anyone love you until you wholeheartedly love yourself. And I've always said that. I say it all the time on my videos. And that's why I learned so much from traveling. I did fall in love with myself. And as stupid as it sounds, I had no eyelashes on, no makeup. I was living in shorts, bikinis and flip-flops. I was just me.
So was Dean.
Me. And I loved it. I loved it so much. And then I come back and I was like, I don't want to lose that really. Obviously, I am safe with the extensions and the eyelash extensions, whatever. But, to the root, I'm still that same person. And I come back from traveling feeling $1 million. I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I know what I want. I do want to settle down. I do want, the long-term relationship. I've found myself. So now I want to find what I'm like with someone else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we should ask the monk of the three of us, and not the one who looks like a monk, Dean, before you say it, but the one who has cracked life where he's married. So before meeting your wife, what was your headspace? Like, were you just, I'm just vibing. If it happens, it happens. I'm not looking. Like, where were you?
What with me and my last when I met her, or
like around that time? So just before and when you met her.
It was really hard because, like, obviously, like with Azusa being from Japan, like we had to be sure that, like, so first of all, like I courted her, as you would say, for months. Like it was like hard work. Like I used to pick her up. Obviously in Australia, she lived just down the road, but it's like 20 miles. So I would like pick her up and stuff, and I'd take her out, and we'd been on like loads of what I would consider dates. And then after a while, like nothing was happening, and I was just like really confused. Like we weren't kissing or anything like that, and I was like, we're going on all these dates, but I'm not like super forward either or anything like that. So I was just sort of like putting the ball in her court. And then after a little while, she sort of explained how it works in Japan. It's called like confession culture, which is actually something that's really good, I think, and I'll explain what it is. So confession culture is, if you like somebody, you just tell them that you like them. So you don't just beat around the bush, and you don't just, send messages and like people's Instagram stories. You just say, look, I like you. But the other side of it is their confession culture is, I like you, I want to be with you, which I like the idea of confession culture, but that one's a bit too strong, too soon, because like you confess your love to someone and say that you want to be boyfriend, girlfriend before like maybe you've kissed or some other things that might be quite important before
Imagine
you
they're a
get
terrible kisser.
to really well
Oh, you'd
exactly
be gutted.
or the rest of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
yeah. So then it was for me like Azusa's from Japan, I'm from England. Her visa was ending soon, but she'd done her farm work, so she was coming back. If we're getting a relationship, it either needs to be with the idea that it's going to be long term, or it's not worth it. So, but then would been on so many dates, would spend so much time with each other, would just had so much in common. Like I make really shitty dad jokes, and she like understands them and stuff like that. And I just thought about it, and I thought she was worth taking that risk and gamble for. But when I eventually did confess her, I made this whole big thing. We went to Brisbane. I took her to see like Aladdin. I booked to a hotel and all this stuff. And I took her to this like rooftop bar to confess her. And I was like, going the long way about trying to tell her how I feel about her and stuff.
Just like
and
he does with his stories.
yeah, yeah. And then after a while of saying, if you are my girlfriend, I think it'd be, for a while, would be for life. And she was like, I was like, do you know what I'm talking about? And she goes, is this confession? And I was like, yeah, kind of. She was like, oh, really? I didn't really think about it. And I was like, what the fuck? And
So
then,
Well,
you,
but then
you
now
put
you're
yourself
married.
under so much pressure. Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. And then she was saying basically because she'd had a boyfriend in Australia as well previously, she wasn't sure if she could do the whole long-term relationship and stuff. But eventually we just thought we'd give it a go. We had another full year in Australia. So I moved in with her, and we lived together for a year, and then decided to come back to England. And then on the way back to England, we stopped at Bali, and I proposed her. And then from there was
Love it.
that was it. Aye. So
He had about
being
8 weddings or something. He had about 8
oh,
weddings, and he convinced her, right? That's all sounds amazing, mate. I've never actually heard that story in that depth. So that was a great great listen. Even I feel you need to talk about the weddings or the number of weddings that you had, but also what you told her about Newcastle in terms of
oh yeah, like because obviously we'd been in Gold Coast in Australia, and she was like, so what's it like in England? And I was like, well, we're quite close to the coast here, and like if you Google Gold Coast, obviously it looks amazing. If you Google Whitley Bay, it looks amazing too. Like it looks golden, blue sea, blue skies. And when we got back, it was like October, and she was like, can you take me to the place? And I took her, and I just remember her face. She was like, this looks nothing like the photos. I was like, yeah, but like in summer, it looks much better in summer. And then in summer, she was like, still great.
Oh.
Yeah, but then we got married during COVID, which COVID was actually a godsend for us because she was going to have to go back to Japan for like 6 months while we figured it all out, and we got an exemption from the government to get married on a tourist visa, so it actually worked out for me in the end. But we got married during COVID, and we had to stand 6 feet apart, and we couldn't even say I do, because if you say do, you might spit. So even though we lived together, I wasn't allowed to be within 6 feet, so that was stupid. And then we had another wedding last year, and then a Japanese wedding. So it's just the 3 weddings, but
Loved
8
it.
sounds better.
yeah.
Why not celebrate your love, eh? Celebrate it a million times. There's
No, I'm done, man. I don't want any more. Don't let her hear that. She'll want another one. I'm skinned, super skinned.
Yeah, 3 weddings is a lot, isn't it? Though, I feel like that's.
I love it. I love the incentive attention. Give me all the weddings. Keep going.
Maybe you need to marry someone from Japan, and then you get the reverse
There you
version of
go.
it.
Yeah.
You might meet someone in Australia. If you can meet someone in Australia, meet someone, because it's amazing over there.
Hmm.
I wish I could have met my wife, but she was Australian. That would have been my ideal scenario.
You can't say that.
He can, and he does.
Yeah, I do.
That's the
Yeah.
aim, though. But then again, that makes me struggle now because I think obviously my ideal situation is going to Australia in the summer, and then it's like, well, what do I do for the next 6 months? Do a date? Is it fair to date? Because I know I'm going away.
You know
I
what'll
don't want to
happen?
lead anyone on. I'll meet someone.
You'll
won't I?
have your plan, and then you'll meet someone. That's how it works. Like you've got an idea of how your life's going to go, and then it goes throw a curveball at you.
Careful, we
So
get a
yeah.
boomerang back. I'm going to Australia. Go away. You want to wait for me?
What happens if he was the one though?
It's
Like
3
you've got-
years now,
you've
though,
got
isn't it?
the full feel. What's 3 years?
You get 3-year visa now in Australia,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
and you don't have to do farm work. But maybe you should do farm work because you might meet the one.
Mm,
We're manifesting this by talking out
Yeah.
loud.
yeah.
I'm going to meet
We'll
this
keep
fella strawberry
manifesting
picking.
Oh, you don't want to be picking any strawberries, like not in that. My first day is 39 degrees it was, and I was in the field for 11 hours, and I got $12.
That sounds so shit.
Yeah, it is. It's really bad
Why did you
Don't
do
put me
that?
off.
because you had to do it. If you did 3 months farm work, you got an extra year visa. But like they put it in your court that you have to be fairly paid for the work that you do, but you get paid next to nothing. So it's just ridiculous. But I'm glad you don't have to do that. To be fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If he
So-
was the one, he'd wait till I go with. This is my sister, by the way. He'd wait till I go with you, but it's not happening. I'm not third wheeling. There you go.
Are you going with your sister?
Yeah, well, my best friend that I went to Asia with coming with me, and then my sister's thinking about coming as well. So it'll be like
Oh,
a little
lovely.
group of us, which will be fun.
Brilliant,
I definitely would go.
Yeah.
Our boy Matty is back again. Every
Oh,
lad's ear just pricked up. Only have to date her for 6 months. Ha 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 ha. Matty, this is part of the problem, mate. This is why we're doing this episode.
you are the problem.
Matty, you were our favourite guest, and then you've just ruined
Just
it.
ruined it.
You've just ruined it, mate. Okay, so I have some stats. Did a little bit of geeky research, and we're going to talk about them.
This is why you're
So-
single.
This is why I'm single.
Sorry.
Thing is, right, he's my best friend, and I spend 3 or 4 days a week with him, more than his wife. So he can say this
Always the
stuff,
way.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
always the way, which is absolutely fine. So Matty has actually said he's loved every minute. Well, we appreciate that, mate. Thank you. So on average,
Where's he gone?
Oh, Lewis.
Where's he gone?
This is a nightmare for me
average.
because I can't take over. Lewis is the guy. He's the go-to.
He's disappeared.
Yeah, Lewis would say we've lost Lewis. Technical issues, but he'll be back very soon. He'll just do a quick restart.
He's just froze.
Why he's going in Australia?
Do you know what? We haven't like gone to the ins and outs of it. I hopefully like the Gold Coast, but I don't know. Honestly, it's like it's a conversation that we've put on the table, and we're both willing to do it. So I've told my work that I'll be leaving. She's told their situations, what's going on. So hopefully, I can't cope with where it's frozen on his face.
I know. Shall I kick him out and then put him back?
do.
There we go.
Try that.
Are you planning on working, or are you just going to end up traveling?
Well, I know the visas, the whole process has changed a little bit, hasn't it? So I don't think you have to work.
No.
But I would like to be honest. I'd like to fund me travel, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
work, fund travel.
It was super expensive when I was over there, like, you know, to live and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like I went over there, I ended up having no money, and then once I got Lewis has just messaged saying that his internet's just dropped and he'll be right back. He's just probably gonna hotspot his phone.
He's gonna be fuming. He's gonna have to edit all this out now.
Nah, I'm not gonna do because I do the editing, and I'm not doing that. It's just too much. Takes too long.
Leave it in.
So we'll just leave it in.
Lap it up.
He says he's trying to hotspot his phone. But yeah, when I went over there, I ended up having next to no money, so I had to get a job, and that's where I got my work ethic from. Because like over there, the money's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially like if you are doing overtime, you get like double pay and stuff like that. So it was really, really good.
Oh, I'm excited, but Who knows what's going to come? Obviously, with social media being a massive thing for me now, it's like I just don't know what's next, and it's
Yeah.
scary, but it's exciting at the same time. So
What
who
are you
knows?
doing for your normal job then?
So I work for a nutrition company,
Mhm.
like a natural nutrition company called Feel Supreme. So we like not to plug them or anything like that. Probably watching. But yeah, sell all natural stuff. So I do like dispatch for them, social media for them. I'm always one behind the camera, chatting
Yeah.
shite as per usual because I will. That's what I do anyway. So, but yeah, I love my job. I'm gutted to be leaving, but I'm hoping that they leave my job for me so I can come back.
Yeah.
I'm really lucky. But yeah, I love my job. But again, working full time, trying to balance working, social media, podcasts, lives, like having a personal life,
Yeah.
having a social life, seeing friends, family. It's so much. Like I'm like this with time all the time. I feel like I've got none until I get into
Yeah.
bed tonight and I'm like, my head's spinning, and you need to like switch off a little bit. But
You know, earlier in the call, you were saying about the negative comments and stuff like that.
yeah.
How is that something that you actually sort of deal with?
I mean, TikTok, to be fair to them, are very, very good for filtering your comments. So obviously, if they know there's a comment that's really like, uncalled for or nasty or whatever, they filter them. I can see them comment if I want to, but I don't know why anyone would want to purposefully look at comments where they're being attacked, for the physical appearance or the being a Scouse girl. I get your accent's disgusting, your eyebrows are minging, but I just laugh because I think irrelevant people's opinions do not affect me in any way, shape, or form, or how I live my life, or how other people see me. At the end of the day, it's an opinion. They're allowed their opinion and entitled to it. Obviously, I wish some people would keep their opinions to themselves because it's rude and inconsiderate to other people's feelings. But
Yeah.
I've got a thick skin. I think the last couple of months, choosing to do TikTok on itself, you're not gonna get all nice comments. I am so lucky with the followers that I've got, the people that reach out to me every day. And to be honest with you, I feel I'll never feel alone. And they always, 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 if they message me for advice and I answer them, they're always first to say, "Are you okay? You're looking after all of us. Are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
how are you feeling? Like," and they're always mindful of me and my emotions and my feelings. And it's like having a family. It's so stupid. You hear people go, "Oh, I've built this community," and you really do. Like, there's
Yeah.
people who've been watching my lives since day one, and I feel like I know them inside out and they know me inside out because we communicate, numerous times a week. One of them, God bless him, sent me flowers to work when I was feeling really shitty. And like just little things like that where you think, how lucky am I to have people who've got me back like that?
Yeah.
And they take away all the harshness of the nasty people and the nasty comments. So it doesn't bother me. I
Do
really
they back you up?
They do. I have to be honest, most of them are moderators on my lives now because I trust them that much. They have me back. It's lovely. Is he back?
He's
He's
trying.
back!
Hey.
Yay!
Literally, where I am, the irony of working for one of the biggest telecoms provider in the UK and having the shittest broadband in the world. We're not even with them. They have let me down, and then my phone for some reason just doesn't hotspot to my laptop. So, yeah, not very good. Did we hear my question, or did we not hear my question?
Well, didn't me? I just took over completely, just rocked the show.
Did it?
And then he had an anxiety attack that I had to. I was like, "Where's he gone? Where's he gone?" Oh no! And I was messaging, "Come back quick!" Nah, we did all right, mate. I was just asking about the negative comments and stuff on the TikTok and stuff. Yeah. What was your question, Lou?
So, dating apps on average are made up of 61% male and 39% female.
Okay.
Why do we think that is? We can think about it. I have an opinion if you guys want to think.
You give your opinion and then I'll.
Dean, did you say?
I think it could potentially be a little bit of that. What you said before, that a lot of people are in relationships already. I bet you there's a fair few of those. I'm not going to say all blokes, but there'll be some women as well. But a fair few that are in relationships that are just having a look. But that would be my.
I feel like men are accustomed to think that they have to make the first move, so maybe it's that because they're used to people saying, you know, the man should make the first move. Maybe they think, okay, well, yeah, I will. I'll do it.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a part of that. I also think it's so, if you go out on a night out, right? Having now been on them for feels like 6-7 months. Dean's been on half of them, but since being single that period of time or whatever, I feel like whilst I'm more than confident to go and speak to someone on a night out, I feel like it is really competitive. Like there is that part of like you're at a bar and the only way to speak to someone is to go to a bar. But then, and I was saying this to Dean, like,
oh, you go. All right, here it is.
Again.
Time to step up again.
He's gonna fume. It's going so well for an hour. Why does he just keep freezing? He's gonna be fuming.
Yeah, like it's the broadband's rubbish there. I think as well though, and I've just literally forgot what I was going to say.
I think it's confidence.
I
feel like some lads aren't comfortable enough to go up to a girl in person and speak to her, whereas on a phone it's completely different.
Yeah. Do you think as well, people perhaps have the idea that dating apps are for hookup culture rather than actually, meeting for love? So like maybe, when a lot of women do look for, or a lot of women looking for love think, well, I'm not going to go on, a dating app because I'm just going to have men just trying to hook up and, the rest of it. So maybe that's another opinion. I know that I'd seen something about, the thing with Tinder is that the vast majority, I think it's something like 10% of hyper performers on, I'll add Lewis back in, like really good. You're back again.
I am not leaving anytime soon.
Are you on your phone now?
I'm gonna have to, Anna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a dead arm as well. I
was just saying there, Lewis, about that I'd seen on a podcast that the vast majority of people on like Tinder, there's like 10% of male who hyperperform, who take like nearly all of the women, and then the rest of men tend to suffer. So dating apps sort of skew the statistics a little bit.
I'm still here. I'm just shooting a camera.
Every time you do it, make me heart cards 100 miles an hour.
No, I do agree that I think. So what did I see? I seen something earlier today on a video where it was asking. Do you know how you get a lot of those podcasts where they get a group of women and it's a male-driven podcast, and they ask women what percentage of women? I think it was an American study. What percentage of men are over 6 foot? And the result was 17%. And then they said, okay, then what percentage of men earn over £100,000 a year? Again, the result was about 16% or something. So then women are like, oh, okay, so it's like 16-17% of men that I'm after.
But then it was married, but actually, ones that aren't married and all that one.
Yeah, but then it's also, you've got to look at, well, how many of them are good looking? How many but the 16 and 17, the crossover works out, it's like 2.3% of men are over 6 foot and earn over 100 grand a year. But then what percentage of that 2.3% aren't married and aren't in a relationship and are actually good looking? So, or even like you would get on with them because socially they are okay and they're not an arsehole, or don't just put the whole life into their job, because to earn that money you have to work really, really hard. So there's all of those things that women on dating sites, they're like, oh, a man has to be 6 foot, a man has to be earning X amount of money or whatever. Well, in reality, what does that really mean? And what's the chances of you actually finding that person? Because there's not many of them out there.
Yeah.
Now, if I was 6 foot and earn over 100 grand, I wouldn't be saying that.
You wouldn't be single?
Yeah, it's true. I would be in the 2.3% of men.
Do you know what? Though people are so quick, especially now that I do TikTok, and they're like, how are you single? You're so pretty, blah, 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 blah. And I think it's not even about the looks, or I wouldn't go around saying I'm absolutely bloody stunning, do you know what I mean? But it's so much more than the looks. It's everything. Your work ethic, how you are with family. For me, money doesn't ask me in the slightest. Like, I'm not with someone for the money. That's just the way that I am. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Height. I've been with lads who are 5'8". I've been with lads who are 6'4". It doesn't bother me. Like, I feel like, you know, some people are too picky and selective with what they want, which is fine if you think you know what you want and what you think's best for you, but a lot of the time it's not. And there's a reason why you're single, because it's not working for you. So stop being so picky.
Yeah. No, completely agree with that. So there's another one. So 58% of people have sat through a bad date. So it's going really bad and they just sit there. They did so because they felt they needed to be polite. 72% of the 58% thought that it might have got better. So that's why they stayed. 37% felt too uncomfortable saying anything. And 36% of people didn't even turn up. So 36% of people just stood the day up. There's some harsh statistics, aren't they? That's not great.
One thing I couldn't do is stand someone up.
No.
And it still happens to me now. It literally happened to me days ago. Like, people do it so often, like, and I just think, nah. I live by the motto of, like, if they wanted to, they would. If they wanted to turn up, they'd do it. If they wanted to text you, they'd text you. If they wanted to call you, they'd call you. And I've been a bad date. I went on a date with someone who I still speak to now as a friend. He's a lovely guy, and he laughs every time I mention this to anyone. But we went on, it was my first date after being in my long-term relationship. So I was with my ex for like 5 years. Got out of that, and a couple of weeks later, I'd never been single because I was with him from when I was 16, so I'd never been on a dating app. I'd never done anything like that before, and I was 22, and I was like, shit, what is this life? Went on this date, got too excited with the bevies and the shots, and spent an hour and a half vomiting my arse up in the toilet while the poor guy stood outside and waited for me. And we've seen each other again, like, countless months times, but that must have been awful for him to not really know who I was. He stood outside the toilet on his own while I'm vomiting with strangers rubbing me back. Embarrassing. I was been like, oh, you vile. But I see him in the gym now and he's like something and I'm like, hi. But we're not all perfect, and I think a lot of it's nerves as well. If you're on a first date, you've got to give credit where it's due. It's nerve-wracking. You want to make a good impression. You want them to like you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have asked them to go on a date. And it's pressure. Pressure. So...
I think I follow a guy called James Smith, and he was talking about, like, when he goes on dates now, he tries to avoid alcohol on them dates, and just tries to set up like a bit of like a pre-date. So, like, rather than setting up something like going out on dinner and drinks or something like that, and you end up going out and you don't really like the person, so you get drunk, and then you both end up drunk, and then potentially end up spending the night together, but really you didn't like each other in the first instance. Even just something just like a casual walk somewhere, or if you've got a dog, walk the dogs, even if it's just a 5-10 minutes or something like that, you know, just to sort of break the ice and get to know each other a little bit. But I can see why in our culture and the way that we are, obviously with beer fear and stuff like that, and beer confidence, why that is a big sort of part of the culture as well.
Yeah, it's one of them. Again, another question is like, where should you go on a first date? Like, absolutely not. Or to watch a film because you can't talk. Don't take me to the fucking cinema.
That's why I took Lou.
I don't want to go. That's shit. Okay, there's rule 1. Rule 2, I don't really want to go for food, because it's then that awkwardness of like trying to have a conversation with your stuff in your face. I'm a foodie. Don't speak to me and ask me questions while I'm trying to eat my food, because you won't get an answer. Best believe I'm eating my food first. Don't take me for food. I would rather do something fun, or a coffee and a walk, or like an activity, something that sparks conversation, like playing a game together, or, you know, some form of icebreaker. I think is for a first date. Not let's sit and watch a film and not talk for 4 hours, or sit and eat food and get the ick because you don't like the way I chew my food. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I think a lot of the alcohol thing is what we discussed before, where people aren't really sure who they are, what they want. So alcohol allows them to mask that. So you can be a completely different person, a completely different persona with alcohol, way more confident, way more self-assured, without having to have a drink. So then when you have a drink, so when you don't have a drink and you just go for a walk, you don't know who you are, you don't really know what you want, you don't know how to hold a great conversation. So yeah, I definitely feel if you actually want to meet someone, maybe a first date without drink is probably, especially hearing this conversation, it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
No, sounds good.
Throwing up.
So we have heard, I sent a load of messages out to people who generally listen to the pod and comment fairly often, or people who've asked for this. So
Okay.
like I said, there was a lot of people who asked for this episode, and I asked for an embarrassing story, and I've got one. So, failed first date from an anonymous listener. I obviously know who they are, but I'm not going to share. That's not very fair. So, this person went out for some food and drinks. This is a man, by the way. They went to the girl's house. This is when they were younger, and they ended up going to the girl's parents' bedroom. So they were kissing and fumbling around like you do when you're young on her parents' bed. Now, she took some of her clothes off, or no, he helped take some of her clothes off, and for some reason said something like, "Do you think your dad does this to your mum?" The mood died pretty quickly after that. He still cringes when he thinks about it. And he said, "If you're hearing this, sorry, Catherine. It was and it's still the most embarrassing moment of my life."
No.
Yeah, I kind of felt like an opportunity to ask people some embarrassing dating stories is always one when we're talking about dating. We obviously have multiple people who've commented throughout this, so feel free. Was it Matthew? Matthew, I'm sure you've got a few dodgy dating stories, mate. Yeah, feel free to share because I think it is quite funny. And the lesson from that is if you do go back to a girl's house and you end up for some horrible reason in her parents' bed, don't bring her parents into the conversation. That was the lesson there, right?
I mean, don't go. Why on earth are you going to the parents' bedroom when you've got your own bedroom? What is wrong with people? No. I wouldn't be even going anywhere near my mum. No.
Is that Ethan?
No, it wasn't Ethan. I'd love to say it was Ethan. No, it wasn't Ethan. I'm sure he's got some work. That was a lovely
comment, by the way, whoever just put that comment.
What was it? What did they say?
That was Georgina Hope.
Oh, my
Been
sister.
a really good watch, yeah. My go-to dating guru, saving my life the last couple of weeks.
Bless.
See, I think as well, obviously, like I'm the youngest of five girls, 5 sisters. So, you know, I look up to my sisters and, you know, what they've been through and their situations. And me and the youngest sister are very much going through the same thing right now. You know, we've both been traveling. We both are single. We're dating. We're trying to learn things. Like she was dating someone recently, and I'm like, you know, try not to do this, try not to say that. And then it's like, well, what if I want to? And you're so scared, and you try and do everything the right way, or how you think is the right way, and you overthink things. And you know, yeah, we're both in very much the same situation, and it's shit. It's heartbreaking because when you feel like you fully found yourself and you're ready to like commit, and then you keep getting knocked back after knockback, or things that don't feel right, it's frustrating. And I'm so glad that I've got her and that she's got me, because right now I'd probably be lost without her. She just understands everything. I understand what she's going through. It's insane. That's for you, sister.
So I have some quick fire questions for you, because we're heading towards sort of the end of the episode. Look to wrap up maybe by sort of about 8:30. So some quick fire ones. Who pays for the first date?
That doesn't bother me.
Do you think that rule exists?
I think it used to, and I don't think it does any much. Like I know from having male friends that like even just offering, if the girl offers, I think it's a lovely gesture. I think it's lovely to have that independence, to be like, I don't need to rely on someone else to pay for my food. I'm quite happy to pay for my own, or whatever it is. And then mixing it up as well. If someone pays for the food, you pay for some drinks, or you know, you book the next date and pay for it in advance, so they can't pay for it. Yeah, I'd say there isn't an either or. It's whatever feels right on the night.
I agree with what you said there. Like I like to pay. That's the way I was always brought up that I do that, but it's so nice and refreshing to have someone offer to offer to pay. And then I'll normally say, well, I'll get this, you get the next one. And then if the next one was cheap, like a cheap one, KFC or something, I'd just say, and they offer, I just say aye. But I'd normally pay, especially if I ask. It's always me asking my lass to go out for dinner, so I'm always paying anyways.
If you've been on the date and you know the person's not for you, I'd be mortified letting that person pay for, the whole night and then never see them again.
Yeah.
I'd have to, contribute in some way, buy them a couple of drinks, or do you know what I mean? I just couldn't let that happen. That's just my own.
That's fair. That's good advice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's good advice. Sorry, my mic will have dropped now because my headphones have died. So I don't know why I've got them in. So I've literally got to the point where all technology is out the window. So I'm holding a phone. Yeah, honestly, absolute fail. Dream first date.
That's a hard one, I think dream first date would be the love story where it's like, I want you to be ready for this time. I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna take you somewhere. I've got something planned, and it's just a case of me just getting ready and being excited. No matter what it is, I love it when a lad's forward enough to be like, are you free this weekend? 7 o'clock Saturday. I'm booking us somewhere to go. I want to pick you up. I'm going to be outside at 7 on the dot. He's going to open the car door for me. I'm going to slide in the car. And, it's just all... That's the dream, as little as that is.
So you want... So is that more about a man taking control?
A little bit, but it's also, again, going back to the whole, if they wanted to, they would. If you want to see me, if you're serious about dating me, you would make the effort. You would text. You would ask me the questions. You would, initiate seeing me. There's nothing worse, I think, nowadays dating, when you're talking to someone for months and then you go and you don't like them. You've wasted months getting to know someone. I'm very much like a speak to me, get to know me personality for 2 weeks. And then make an effort to meet each other, because you just don't want to waste too much time. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I like that. When I was single, it used to be for me, I couldn't do the talking stage with loads of different people. It would be, even the talking stage, I'd only want to do it with one. But then, people aren't as blunt and aren't as honest as how they feel about things. And I think just having that bluntness of saying how you think it's going, whether or not it's, going to be something romantic, maybe early doors to get out of that as well.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a really good point. Texting or talking? So would you rather... So first it starts off some sort of texts, but general interactions, I know Dean's answer to this. Would you rather be calling, FaceTiming, texting, what?
I'm very much a call or FaceTimer. If you're in work all day and you're busy, you haven't really got time to text me, that's fine. Give me a call when you're driving home from work, when you're driving to work. FaceTime me in the night when you're going to bed. I'm very much
You make the effort.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It feels like calls and FaceTimes, whatever, is a lot more effort than texting.
It is a lot more effort, but at the same time, again, if you haven't been on a date with someone and they FaceTime you sort of get that time.
Yeah.
Personally with them, and then if you feel comfortable with them. If I was to FaceTime you and I didn't feel right, I wouldn't go on a date with you. But I've already had that
bit of interaction.
It's like a pre-interview, like an interview.
Pre-interview? Is that your application, is it?
Yeah, that's the one.
But
CV as well.
With social media, not to be one of them people, but a lot of the times on dating apps, you don't know if the person's actually who they say they are. It's happened to me loads of times that it's been a cafe, and I've gone, this is definitely a catfish profile, and then boom,
really,
you've gone, oh god, yeah, all the time.
I thought that was just the MTV show.
No, all the time. I'll out someone because I just get a gut feeling straight away. If you haven't got your social media linked to your dating profile, or you just look a bit sus, I'm onto it straight away.
Yeah, someone mentioned it before about there being loads of fake accounts as well.
There is. It's so hard. I've been, approached by fake accounts. I've had people use my photos on dating apps. It's a scary world out there. Trust me. I've had someone called Millie, someone called Lois, all using my photos. It could be a lad. It could be anyone.
To be fair, that was good of you to make them, because then you've got more chances of you can mess up the conversation with the ones you want.
I wish I had the time. Imagine.
Yeah. No, I get that. Another question: how important do you feel it is to have similar interests with your partner or someone that you're dating?
I feel like it's important in terms of like bonding and, but then opposites attract, don't they?
Mm.
I think if you like a person for who they are, whether they have similar interests to you or not, it just works. And I can appreciate, I love the football, and a lot of girls like football, but I love football. So, like, I'd love to go to the match. I'd love to go to the pub to watch the match, and have that interest. Whereas I know girls would be like, absolutely not. But then I'd still appreciate them for what their likes and dislikes are. I wouldn't let that affect us at all.
Are you a blue or a red?
Silly question.
Red.
So you're red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could you have a partner who didn't like football?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
And could you have a partner who was a blue?
I've had them in the past. I love it. I love it because the thing, you get beat up that.
Do you know what the thing is?
Murder.
So what we're talking about, similar interests there, right? There's a really common tactic that people use when dating or texting and messaging initially, is that whole mirroring, isn't it? Like, oh, you're interested in that? Yeah, me too. I like that too. Oh yeah, I like that too. And I think nothing will ever have legs if you start it off not being on a lie or not being authentic.
No.
So I think that if I could give any advice on that, because people I've spoken to in the past, I've felt them say, just feel like they were agreeing. And then when you actually meet them or actually speak to them properly, like, yeah, I don't feel like you actually do. So this is just awkward.
That was one of my recent videos. I said, like, you've just got to be authentically you, because you can't live a lie. If you want to be with someone long term, they're going to find out that you were lying. They're going to see the cracks. You can't keep up this narrative all the time. It's mentally and physically and emotionally exhausting. Just be you. And if they don't like you for you and what you like and dislike, then they're not your person. And that's literally it.
Yeah. So there was another point you touched on earlier around, I think it was on one of your videos I watched today, of if you want to text someone back, text them back. If you want to play the game a bit, play the game a bit. Like, there's not a right or wrong way to do it. I personally think there definitely is a right or wrong way to do it. So I'm happy to debate this one. But do you think you should, if you want to text someone, you should just text them? Or do you think you should play the game a bit and make them wait? And I know you've already put...
It depends what the game is, though. Like, what's the game? I'm not into this, like, they could be busy and work and not text you back for 3 hours.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not going to
completely
sit for 3 hours and go, you didn't text me for 3 hours, so I'm not going to text you. If I'm not busy, they'll get a text back straight away. I'm not arsed. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if someone's genuine and authentic in the way they feel, it all just flows no matter what anyway. And there's no wrong way of doing it, because it just sort of fits the mold, and it just, you ride the wave, for what it is.
That is one hell of a dance you just did there, by the way. Yeah.
It's one of my hidden talents.
Yeah, it's very impressive. I think for me, it's probably what you just touched on at the end. You text when you can. So if you can, you do. You don't see it and decide not to make them wait.
That's
feel like
game. That is the game.
Me and Dean have spoke about this actually. We spoke about it probably over the last few months, haven't we? Where it's like, so we are both going through the process of potentially finding out whether we have ADHD or not. Where our brain just doesn't allow us. Like, if I want to talk to someone, and that's not just even that's not even a girl or whatever. That's just if I want to talk to my dad, I want to talk to my friends, whatever. Like, I'm just going to message them, and if they message me straight back, or message me in an hour, I'm just going to message them straight back. My brain just naturally goes into that sort of position. And I think for lots of ways, it's been really positive for work. Means I'm super productive at work. If something needs done, I just do it. But it does have a negative impact when you first start dating. People are like, I've seen it, and it's probably backfired, where you're like, oh, you message too quick. I'm like, but if I want to talk to you, I'll message back in 10 minutes. I'm not going to message back in 2 hours. So that was definitely one that I thought, interested to know your thoughts on.
No, it's hard, especially when, like, say you text someone and they haven't opened it, but then they put a story on Instagram or social media. You just think, you are one hit. Like, answer me first. I'm the most important.
You say I'm going to bed, and then they're sitting on online 1 minute ago, like an hour later. You're like, what?
Yeah, what do you think about that sort of stuff?
Hate it. Because I'm not that person. Like, if I'm genuinely interested in having a conversation with you and we're mid-flow conversation, I wouldn't dare see that you've messaged me and then brutally ignore you and then post a story or just be that rude to ignore you. Like, that's just not me. It's not me. I
Yeah.
just couldn't do it. Because I know
No.
as soon as I start dating someone, I automatically get this anxiety in my belly. I overthink everything, and that's just natural because we all do it. If you've been hurt as well,
Yeah.
it's common to feel like that.
Yeah.
And
Agree.
I feel like messaging someone, it takes 2 seconds, and that can get rid of that horrible anxious feeling that I'm feeling. Like, you know, I'm in work, sorry, I'm busy. That if you haven't texted back for 4 hours, I'm overthinking. Like, I'm never gonna speak to him again. He's speaking to someone else. But if you text me that in 2 seconds, I feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of it as you get older is, and that's me talking about my own self, like even that little bit of politeness of, I'm just busy, I'll message you back.
Yeah.
I
Takes
feel
2
like,
seconds.
yeah, it takes 2 seconds. And I think it's a great way of like managing someone's feelings and emotions on that sort of stuff, which is good. Out or night in, what's your preference?
Night out or night in.
Mm.
I think it's
This is,
different.
let's say after 3 dates, you've had 3 dates, you have the choice to go night out or night in.
Probably night in. You know, I've seen them in a social environment. I don't want to see them in a different environment. But I feel like in a relationship and single, again, if I was single and dating, I'd want to be out. If I was in a relationship, I'd want to be in. Again, that's part and parcel of like transitioning into like
Yeah.
that phase that you go through. But yeah,
Yeah.
probably night in.
No, I think that's very good. So that kind of wraps up a lot of our questions. There's probably a couple of things to cover. Firstly, where can people find you? Before I get into that, actually, thank you so much. You have been genuinely a bundle of energy and so much wisdom, and yeah, you've been really good fun.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you've been an incredible guest, and I'm sure when Dean stops messaging in the football chat, he'll say the same thing, because I've just seen a reply on my phone. Like, you'll think the same. Yeah, you've been genuinely incredible, and
No, yeah,
yeah,
it's been class.
great to talk to.
I've enjoyed it.
I've loved every second of it, and I'm so grateful that you asked me to come on, because obviously for me, I don't feel like anything's changed for me. I still feel like the same person, but
Yeah.
you get asked to do a podcast and
Keep
you're like,
that.
do people actually want to listen to me? Like,
Then you need to keep that because it's authentic. And
yeah.
I think you're doing so much great work. Look, you've made a 31-year-old bloke who doesn't watch TikTok videos, looking for guests through TikTok, going, wow, her content's really powerful, really strong. It resonated with me. Yeah, it's not the type of content I would generally usually follow, and
Yeah.
I've got a lot from it. Your raw honesty and how you open up. It's rare in this world, so you should be very proud of. And yeah, you've been an incredible guest. We're super grateful to have you on. Obviously, we would love to hear from you pre you going traveling as well, because
Of course.
we're looking to do some stuff, right, with maybe getting some of our multiple guests. So I don't know if you and Imogen follow each other on TikTok. So I had Imogen Eden Brown on last week. She's fairly similar size TikToker to you.
Yeah.
Really good fun, like good laugh. But I think there's more we can do to remove some of the stigma around mental health
Yeah.
by working with people like yourselves to actually help people out there who are struggling.
Of course.
We've all gone through a shitty breakup, and it's horrible.
Oh yeah.
And there's all those moments where you think, I don't know if I want to. Ultimately, do I want to be here anymore? That's where most people's brain eventually leads to if they don't get the help that they need.
Yeah.
And I don't want to end the episode on too much of a negative, but that's the whole purpose of this, that people understand that there are opportunities and there are ways out of feeling as shit and low as you do. Speak up, get help, follow amazing people like Sophie who will make you realize you're not alone. And yeah, be the best version of you, and I promise you won't keep feeling shitty if you focus on loving yourself, as Sophie put it earlier.
100%. And a lot of my followers, like, surprisingly, just quickly before we finish, a male. So many of my messages every day are from men, and I think, you know, men, I'm so lucky to be in such an open girls group where we all, you know, message and we're so open and honest, probably too honest a lot of the time. And I know for men, they're not as open and honest. Sometimes they feel comfortable enough to, sometimes they don't. So if a lad's going for a breakup, they're feeling a bit shit, they're messaging me, they're watching my videos, I have more male followers than female, and that surprised me when my agency told me that, and I was like, what? And I think, you know, I don't want men to be ashamed or to feel like they can't speak about the way they're feeling, because it's so relatable what we're going through right now, and I don't want people to feel like they're on their own, because they're not. You'll never ever be on your own as long as there's like TikTok and like amazing things like that where you can, you know, speak to people like this have the
Yeah.
conversation. You know,
Yeah.
it really does make a difference.
Yeah, no, I don't think you could have said it any better. So we have spoke about your TikTok a bit. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you? Hear more, see more?
So
What's your main
TikTok,
social media?
TikTok is the place where I post basically near enough every day when I can. I go live when I can, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Just for people who are feeling a bit lonely of a night time when they're in bed, because that's when I do all my overthinking after 9 o'clock. So I jump on live a couple of times. So the TikTok is XO Sophie Ellen. Exactly the same handle as my Instagram. Obviously, don't really post TikTok content on Instagram, but it is coming. So if you want to watch the videos and things like that, then watch the TikToks. And yeah, that's me. TikTok, Instagram, get on it. Both
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, no, you've absolutely smashed it. And yeah, we are, as I mentioned before, we are super grateful to have you on. Thank you so much. And
No problem at all.
And I'm sure we will catch up in the future.
We definitely will. Thank you so much for having me.
Brilliant. Thanks to everyone who listened. It will be live, as Sophie put out earlier. It'll be live on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, etc. next week when Dean does that bit. But you can follow us on Facebook. We go live the week before the episodes get launched, just so people can comment and engage. But thank you very much all, and we will catch you on the next one. Dean, can you click stop going live? Because I can't do it.
How do you do that?
It's on the top right.
Ah,
We're going to be stood here a while.